Jai and LDU, are they okay?
Yeah, well, they've trained. They did most of the session. They got little niggles which are common for players as they try to prepare from one game to the next. But they did as much as we needed them to do today, and they'll train again tomorrow fully, and hopefully they'll be right to go against the Saints.
At this stage, no doubt, or you still need to see more from them?
No, we still need to see. They need to tick one more box probably if they pull up okay from today's session, and they were probably. They did the stuff that they needed to do at 100%, but we just need to make sure that they pull up well from that, and if they do, then they'll both play.
Is Luke just a cork? He looked like he had a hammy strapping.
No, both of them are just more or less been knocks, so I think they'll be okay. But we'll just wait and see tomorrow.
What can you do to eke out a bit more performance and consistency from the group at the moment?
Yeah, we're concerned with the way that we've been going, and we need to do something about it. You know that we're just leaking a lot of goals at the current time, and some of that is just contest work hasn't been strong enough. You know, in the little bits of games where we've been strong, we've been able to compete in the contest. But we're also philosophical and realistic enough to know we're playing a young group and we're investing in the future, and the consistency of that contest stuff is likely to be up and down as we go through this phase. So that unfortunately for us has created goals at the other way, and that's hurting us a fair bit. So but there's nothing much we can really do other than we can play some senior guys and just sort of change our philosophy a bit. We don't really want to do that. It's just get stronger in the contest over a period of time, and it's not something we've never seen in the game before. We've all been there and understand the implications of going with a younger group, but we've also seen along the way how they mature as terrific players too once they go through their 40, 50, 60, 80 games of footy, and you look at the quality of the Brayshaws and Sarongs and those sorts of guys that have sort of done that through Fremantle over the last 4 or 5 years, and the Clayton Olivers and the Petrarcas a little bit before that, and so that's the track that we're taking, and it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Do you need to see more effort and intensity for longer, or is it more about the execution of the game plan and skills?
Oh, it's a little bit of both, but it's mainly around the contest, and we need a lift right across the board. We've got to become more consistent in that space, and we're working hard at trying to try to get that right, and hopefully it'll materialise in games for longer as we work our way through the season.
Is this how you thought it would be, Clarko? Did you think the challenge of sort of resurrecting North would be as significant as it has been in the last year and a half?
Listen, we had a really good summer, trained really well, and we've been really disappointed that it hasn't transferred into some wins early in the season. But given the age profile and experience profile of our list, the whole football world, there's no one that had us outside of the bottom 4 in the ladder in the competition. So it's not like the whole competition's surprised where we're at. We're hopeful to be better than what we were at this point, but we also really strongly aligned on where we need to go as a footy club and what we need to do. And unfortunately for us, that's just investing a hell of a lot of time in these younger players and giving them opportunity and exposure. And with that is going to come some inconsistency and some performance that looks below par. But it's about building the group. It's just like the comment around Mick McGuan watching our training saying, "Oh, we're below par." Well, that's probably right across the group. If we're a really highly talented, so go and watch Collingwood train at the moment, Geelong train. It just looks like it's all smooth clockwork. But when you're a really good performing side, you'll probably notice that the training standards are really, really strong on that too. And we're working on that. But just the quality of the group and the age of the group, they just don't know what their benchmark is yet. We're trying to work them towards that. But it just comes with more exposure to both training and the games that they play.
Do you get sick of some of the, punching down from the likes of Eddie Maguire came out during the week and said, he claimed that, presidents, other clubs didn't want 19 teams in the league and threw North Melbourne in there?
Yeah, well, this competition's been going for a long period of time, and by the end of the season they always announce a premier of the competition, and at the end of the season there's always a wooden spoon or someone that's sitting on the bottom. that's going to be the case no matter who's in the competition. Unfortunately, just at the moment, we're one of the teams that are down the bottom part of the ladder and working really hard to get ourselves back up there. But we've got a plan on how to do that, and from what I can gather, every team in the competition has been where we are.
Do you get frustrated though?
It's just part of the course, and this club's blue collar has survived hell of a lot more traumatic events than what we're going at the moment. Actually, really profitable as a club, and this Arden precinct is just going to take off in the next 10 to 15 years, and really exciting urban development that's going to happen around here that will change the whole fabric of this area. It's been industrial, semi-industrial for the last 100 years. That's going to change significantly over the next 15 to 20 years, and hopefully that will reinvigorate this footy club as well. And if we can just partner with government and the opportunities that we've got in this precinct, then we feel like this could be a really exciting period of time for our footy club.
Does you have a message to the club presidents who doubt the future of North?
Oh, well, they doubted the future of Gold Coast a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden that's corrected itself. And my son was laughing last night, saying, 13 years ago, Dad, the first quarter of the Essendon Gold Coast game, it was 94-1. So it just happens in the game. It will evolve and get past this, but guess what? We won't get past. Somewhere, if North Melbourne do improve, which we hope to do, there'll be someone else that's on the bottom of the ladder in 2 or 3 years' time, and the blowtorch will be on them. That's the game. And we're working hard to get ourselves back up the ladder again. We know there's a process to that. We've got experienced people that have been through it, both at this footy club and at other footy clubs, and just got to stay philosophical and rational about it, and just not bow to the noise that's out there. It's just like, we've got 19 teams. Geez, that's clunky. It'd be a lot easier if it was 18. A lot easier if it's 20. Well, just make it 20 and get Tassie and the Northern Territory. You want a truly national competition, make it 20, and be a really good competition then.
There's also a call for, I think, North Melbourne, because of the crowds in Tasmania, not to play there anymore, to swap it with other teams. What did you make of that?
What was the question again, sorry?
I think in that Eddie Maguire was saying for North Melbourne not to play in Tasmania because the crowds are so low, and the other clubs should maybe swap out of, and the Kangaroos not playing Tasmania anymore.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen what Ed's had to say, so I'll only make comment once I've heard his comments directly, and but as I said, that it's all noise out there that's easy to be a target for. The conversations I've had with Ed, he's actually been really supportive of our club. So whatever he said in more recent times goes against the context of the discussions that I've had with him about it. So I don't know the context of what he's saying now, and only when I talk to him face to face will I get that idea.
It will be a big weekend, I guess, recognising victims of domestic violence. What would your message be? Community? Yeah,
well, I mean, the AFL, I applaud them. It's been it's just such a terrific platform for us to have the opportunity to do that. There's been a frequency of this is just far too common for a long period of time, but particularly in the last 3 or 4 months right around our country. Ballarat in particular, but also what happened up in Sydney was just so confrontational, and so out of significant events like that impact us all, I think it's a chance. Every one of us came into the earth or under the earth as a result of a beautiful mother that partnered and allowed us the chance to live on this earth, and that respect should never be lost on anyone. And if that type of message can just be pushed right out through our community, then I think it's a good thing. And if the AFL can provide that platform, which I'm sure it's going to be doing this weekend with every game, for a moment's silence before the game, then I think it's very appropriate.
Do you address it within the club with your players?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll. We already have addressed it earlier in the week, and then the initiative I think was just announced yesterday. But we've been speaking about this as a footy club for a long period of time. You know, when we're not in that big of a bubble in AFL footy that we don't know what's going on in the outside world, and you know, particularly in the case of the situation up at Westfield. You know, my daughter lives in Sydney. She lives just near where that occurred, and you know, tragically, you know, Kerry Good's daughter was in. Was a tragic victim of it. So, you know, we address these sorts of things from time to time. To try and educate our players and help them as best we can in terms of their mindset of how they should approach things and being role models and leaders, you know, because all of them have got their own mothers or sisters or girlfriends or friends, and paying that respect is pretty important.
There's a game to play as well. Obviously, don't want to detract from that message you're sending, but just in terms of security, they haven't been in great form recently. Do you feel like it's an opportunity to try and grab a W?
Well, we really just got to focus on us more than anything. But yeah, the St Kilda have been really competitive. I think they've won 2 and lost 5, but I reckon in 3 or 4 of those games, you know, they lost 1 to GWS, who were playing great footy, and he got knocked off by a point up in Canberra. And so whilst they're 2 and 5, and they look like they're it should be an easier opponent. The fact that they are 2 and 5 and it's St Kilda and it's Ross would suggest that it's going to be a pretty hard game. And our ladder position would suggest it's going to be a pretty hard game. So we just got to concentrate on us and know that we're going to come up against a formidable opponent tomorrow, and we're going to have to play to our very, very best to win the game. We understand that, but we're up for the fight. You know, they're a good side, and we're hopeful to see that we can get some more evidence that we're on the right track.
Like Brad Scott said yesterday that he would try and help Taron Thomas if he wanted a lifeline. Obviously, your club took a very strong stance with regards to his behaviour and being involved. Do you think it's appropriate that he would be given another chance in the AFL?
Well, that's really for the AFL and Taron and 17 other clubs to work through that. You know, we went through those scenarios with Taron earlier in the year, and over a period of time, and did everything we could in that space, we thought. But you know, the values of our footy club, really supporting the values of the whole theme that's going to come across this week. It's just like we rate that part of society and respect for women really, really highly, and whatever happens with Taron now is really up to the AFL, Taron himself and 17 other clubs to work out where his future in the game is.